glad you're back. You're in Calgary today. Maybe do you want to tell people why you're there, and then we'll hop into it.
Yeah, sure. So the foundation of our business remains energy, and Alberta is one of Canada's hubs for energy. So when we were looking for places to really set up shop and build and expand our business, this seemed like the logical place. So it's very easy to have corporate offices in Vancouver. We have now a little small satellite office in Calgary, and from there we branch out and we go to the field. So I've got my baseball hat on, and I've just come back from one of our sites, which we're expanding fairly quickly, and we're working on other ones. So it's the place to be for us right now.
Oh, awesome. And it kind of leads into what we wanted to chat about today. We're going to go into, of course, Link. Really, what do you guys do in more detail? I know you touched on it briefly last week, but it was more of an intro for you. I figured we do that, and then maybe we lead into some mining stuff. But do you want to kick things off with maybe how many clients you guys are helping, projects, but even before that, maybe what does Link do at a very core?
Sure. So we have a number of different layers to our business. And they're one of the layers is our own mining operations, which that's how we started. So we started with 500 machines. We built that up to 1,500 machines. But we were always, I think, looking forward as to what's the value of the machines, and when you do your accounting on them and you have to account for the incredible depreciation, you have to really take a second look and figure out if that's the only business you want to get into. So we made a good decision as a team that we wanted to be more diversified. So while we still have our own mining operations, which are very minimal at this time, because we really haven't invested a ton of capital in new gen machines, we do have a number of clients. We're actually not allowed to say due to NDAs of exactly how many, but we do have a number of clients. So we did announce a big client, which is a company called Block One. So Block One's been in the mining space for a long time, very skilled at it. They have all the hardware. They're on this renewal process, as we talked about last time. So they're probably our premier client. We look after them, they look after us, and we're trying to grow our business with them. That's our number one goal, is to have good power for them for their operations. So they're very seamless in that, and they manage the crypto side of it, and we manage the power side of it. So it's a very, very clean relationship, and it's very easy to see where the lines are drawn. But there's opportunity to also cross over those lines at times to figure out, maybe we can build some software for them. We have a very skilled engineer that can do that kind of stuff. So as we grow our inventory of our own and with our clients, we can then grow that software as well. So it's always good to have those kind of one-off things. But we do want to have a certain amount of our own mining machines. That helps us enjoy that potential blue sky if Bitcoin goes skyward, but also we sort of hedge against some of the downside if crypto remains, what I think are at challenging levels. And I would say, unless you're a very optimized operation today, the $9,000, $9,200 USD Bitcoin is a very challenging number.
Yeah. Oh, especially after the halvening, for sure. And, we'll get into that in a sec.
For sure.
Yeah.
And the other part of our business really is we're looking for those underlying assets. So we look for resource, that are affordable. So we not only operate our, what's on top of the surface, but we're actually, interested in what's under the ground and what potential energy is there and what we can do with that. So we're looking at a number of other uses for the energy, beneficial use around cryptocurrency mining, but also there's another number of other projects we can take care of, including feeding the grid, feeding the gas grid, things like that. So we're going to be a very diversified company when all this wraps up.
So do you want to talk about, kind of what Link's like ideal clients are, what you guys are looking for, that kind of stuff?
It's interesting you ask what clients, because we have a number of different layers and clients. And this is the wonderful thing about being a public company. You have what I would say is your shareholders. So you have, those are clients to me. So what are we doing, and how are we providing value for those clients? And those shareholders or those clients are looking for us to be innovative and be leading edge, but don't be bleeding edge, I think, in this business. So for those people, our ideal clients are people that there's got to be some risk tolerance for sure, this business, and they've got to be able to see past the volatility of what is happening in the world of coin. People that are buying and selling their stocks and their companies in Bitcoin mining space based on the value of Bitcoin may not be really looking deeply enough into that company as to what they're doing. So if the company is just mining and just they're up and down, their daily profit and loss is dependent on Bitcoin too, then for sure, then be very, very wary of Bitcoin. But there's so many companies that are doing so many cool things like ours with different types of energy, with having hosting services. So you need to look below that layer. So our ideal client there is one that's willing to spend time to understand what we're doing as a business. And it's our job to explain that and do a better job of explaining it, right? So we talk about how complex mining and all that is. People don't really understand that, but they don't need to. What they need to understand is we're going to take advantage of some blue sky opportunities when you're mining, but also be involved in that kind of, the buildup of the energy side as well, and the energy assets. So I think it's important for people to understand that as those clients. Our other clients and our client base might be those that we're hosting machines for. So those are our other clients. So if somebody has, 100 machines, well, they may say, "We'll come to us," and it's a very simple. What are you charging? How much a kilowatt? And they know what their machines are running at. So we would give them a number. They would go away and say, "Hey, that makes sense to us." And then there's, service, condition of site, and things like that. So that again, those clients are generally pretty sophisticated today because they're not the hobby miners.
Yeah.
They're the commercial miners.
Yeah, we'll get into in a second how how Link makes money, just as more of a kind of structure of the deals you guys do. But curious, just about the clients. So is the perfect person some guy who comes to you with, "Hey, I've got a lot of money, I want to set up my own mining operation, help me do it," or is the better client the person who goes, "Look, I know about crypto, I need help doing this in a better, more efficient way. Help me." Like, what's the person you're looking for? Or are you also, you kind of touched on, the normal people. Are you guys looking at, potential, investment funds or whatever, bigger corporations, and saying, "Hey, like, you guys should have this as part of your business, going forward to, diversify"? What's kind of the mindset there?
Really good question. So I think when we're looking at that, yeah, I would say that it's the second type of person we're looking for, including the institutional investor, because Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining operations. Imagine that we are printing money, right? These operations are actually printing money. So once you have it figured out and you know how to do it, we're getting ready to offer some pretty cool stuff. We've been playing around and trying to understand how you would give people, a guaranteed income from this. So they put their miners with you, they put money with you, and you're able to offer them this sort of guaranteed income stream from it, as well as returning their capital. So we've got a number of things in development in that. We actually had a news release that somebody had given us $1 million US to do what we call smart mining. So the smart mining project is really very close to maturity now, and we'll be launching that with that client in the next 2 months or so. So that kind of stuff is really cool because we have stable power price. We know we're not sort of going to lose our sites, so we can do things and run the numbers in a way that I don't think everybody can. Most miners today, to be honest with you, are running their miners, paying their electricity bills by selling Bitcoin, right? That's the way they're surviving. So until you get ahead of that kind of feeding the beast, you're always going to be behind the 8 ball. So we're trying to get, and that's why people that are buying hash power or going to cloud mining operations, what those cloud mining operations are doing is they're taking your money and they're taking, let's say, $100,000. They're buying miners with that, and they're providing you hash power. But I haven't seen many of those cloud mining operations that actually pay back. So we have because they have to pay so much for power. That is not the type of person we're looking for. And we're not looking for somebody who says, I'm going to give you money, give me some cloud mining, and that's that. We're looking for people that want to dig deeper and understand more about this business and actually see this business go mainstream. That's my idea.
Well, it's cool. It's kind of a game in a lot of cases. People always say, well, the cheapest power, the most efficient always wins. And obviously, having you at the helm, definitely a part of that. Mining is very competitive. The less miners, the more the other miners benefit. But of course, the more miners, in theory, it gets harder to mine Bitcoin. Price of Bitcoin goes up as a result. So it's an interesting game that you're playing, and obviously efficiency is a huge part. You touch on a lot of things. You touch on cloud mining. I love, a lot of people that might see this went through the 2017 kind of craziness for crypto. I'd love for you to touch on, even I did as a kind of a joke just to see, do you want to maybe explain what some of these cloud mining, operations were in more detail? And, a lot of people watching this probably even participated in some of these websites.
Sure, we all did, and I did because I wanted to understand what that revenue stream would look like, what their processes were, and how transparent it was. And so what they do is generally you give them a certain amount of money for a certain amount of hash power. So you're whatever that rate is, it doesn't really matter, but you're buying hash power, and they're guaranteeing you. So let's say we're buying 100 terahash. We buy the 100 terahash. They then guarantee you that 100 terahash every day, and you get paid out. So let's just say you make $10 a day, and then they charge you your power cost on top of it. So let's say today at $9,000 Bitcoin, you're making $10 a day. Your power cost may be $8 a day. So you're netting out $1 a day, but you've given them all this money up front. Yeah. So it's a very simple equation, right? It's like I gave you $10,000, right? 365 days, I'm making $1 a day. It's $365. I didn't do very well on that contract. And the contracts are all tied to the cost of power too. So if Bitcoin drops and my earnings are $8 a day, I'm actually underwater by $1. They won't charge me that $1. But after 1 week of being underwater, they can cancel your contract, and you lose all your money.
Yeah,
like these are incredibly one-sided contracts, and we looked at that and we thought there's an opportunity to do something quite different. Again, because we have the ability to lower power costs, so we can just do apples to apples, offer a lower power cost, or we can offer a more interesting program that basically guarantees you get your capital back.
And is that something Link's looking at?
Yeah, well, that's that again, our first client. That's what we're calling it, smart mining. But that's definitely, we've already done our news release. It's public information. So how we're doing it is not public information. What we're doing is public information. So
there you go.
It's a unique way to do it.